In this video, we're going to look at the area and circumference of circles, and the circumference is actually just the perimeter. Right, when we work with circles, we work with pi, which you are going to use the pi button on your calculator, but it can also be written as 22/7 or 3,14 rounded off. And in actual fact, the circumference of the circle is just over 3 times the diameter. So if we had to take the circumference of the circle divided by the diameter, we would get pi. So that's where we get pi from. Let's look at the circumference or the perimeter. Now, we have two formulae, but in actual fact 3, but a way not to get confused, I prefer to do circumference equals pi d, which means pi times the diameter. That is for the circumference. The area of the circle, which is whatever's enclosed within the circle, that is your area, and area equals pi r squared. A way to remember it is if you say pi r squared, area. So area. So those are the two formulae I like to use when I'm working with circles. So whenever you see a circle, before you even look at the problem, you are going to say, I know that I have two formulae, pi d and pi r squared. And remember, pi r squared is for area. And now let's have a look at the question. The other thing I always suggest you write down, so I write down my two formulae. I always write down diameter equals radius equals, and just work with these two formulae. So over here it tells us that the radius is 2,5 meters, and that means from the center to anywhere on the outside edge, that is 2,5 meters. If the radius is 2,5 meters, then the diameter is double that, so it will be 5 meters. Right, so now we have to find the area. So area equals pi r squared, and remember pi is a number, so pi times my radius is 2,5. I'm going to square it, and if I do that, I will get 19,634 and so on. We round to 2 decimal places. I look at the neighbor, which is a 4 or less, let it rest. So that is going to be 19,63. Area is square units, so I'm going to have meters squared. Let's work out the circumference. So circumference equals pi d. And you see, if I've done this, then all I have to do is look up there and see what I need to substitute. So pi times my diameter, which is 5, and pi d is going to give you 15,71 meters. And remember, circumference is the outer edge. It is one-dimensional, so we have our invisible 1 over there. Right, the next one I want to look at is determine the circumference and area of the semicircle. So from my diagram, I can see I'm working with circles. So I will go and write down pi d, pi r squared, area. So this is my area formula. And then the next thing, remember I said you write down diameter equals radius equals. I have got 12,4, so that is my diameter, 12,4. So the radius would be half of that, and half of 12,4 is 6,2. And again, we are working in meters. Circumference. So let's start with circumference. Circumference equals pi d. But now I have a semicircle. So it is half of my circle, half of pi d, which will equal a half times pi. Use the pi button on your calculator, multiplied by 12,4. And if I calculate that, I will get to 19,477 and so on, which rounded off is going to be 19,48, and these are meters. I now have that, and so the perimeter is the entire outer edge, so I must add 12,4 meters, and when I add that, I am going to get 31,88. And they are meters, one-dimensional, or just an M. Right, now I've found my circumference. I now have to find the area, so everything enclosed by the outer edge. So area equals pi r squared. So my area is going to equal pi times r. So you see I go up here, all done for you already. 6,2. I'm going to square that. And if I do that calculation, I'm going to get 120,762 and so on. But remember, I round off. I will do that at the end. But now this is only half of my circle. So I've got to multiply this by half, and my answer will be 60,3814 round to 2 decimal places. Look at the neighbor. 4 or less, let it rest. So the area is going to be 60,38 meters squared. It is two-dimensional, so that is your final answer. For more practice, exercise 4.5 in chapter 4. Please will you go and look at the test your understanding, and there are 2 calculations for the test your understanding.